So this happened some time ago, a few hundred years give or take a decade. I will not go into it much, but we all know how the urban legend happens. You stand in front of the mirror with the lights off, sometimes with candles, other times without candles. Anyway, you repeat the name Bloody Mary 5 times, and when you come to turn on the light, then she appears in the mirror and attacks and steals your soul. However, this story is not about that Bloody Mary but a different character, in which she would use an enchanted song to steal sleeping children from their bed. She would then soak in the blood, as she believed that this would rejuvenate her and make her young again, in which she believed she would become immortal and would be able to live till the end of time by soaking her in the innocent blood of children. I have no idea if there is any merit to this story, as I was not around during those time. However, we have a museum that is dedicated to her witchcraft. In the museum, there was items from her house, cauldron, furniture, clothes, and also a painting. It is said that anyone who stares at the eyes of those paintings will become cursed and live a horrid life. So let's get on to the story. There was this old hag that lived in tiny run-down cottage deep in the forest. In her spare time, she would sell herbal remedies. Folks living in the town nearby would call her Bloody Mary, as they believed she was a witch. None dared to cross the old hag, as they feared their cattle would go dry, their food store would rot away before the winter season, and their children would take sick of fever, or any other terrible things that an angry witch could do to her neighbors. Then the little girls in the village began to disappear one by one. No one could find out where they had gone. Grief-stricken families searched the woods, the local buildings, and all the houses and barns, but there was no sign of the missing girls. A few brave souls even went to Bloody Mary's home in the woods to see if the witch had taken the girls, but she denied any knowledge of the disappearances. Still, it was noted that her haggard appearance had changed. She looked younger and more attractive. The neighbors were suspicious, but they could find no proof the witch had taken their young ones. Then came a night when the daughter of the miller rose from her bed and walked outside, following an enchanted sound no one else could hear. The miller's wife had toothache and was sitting up in the kitchen treating the tooth with a herbal remedy when her daughter left the house. She screamed for her husband and followed the girl out of the door. The miller came running in his nightshirt. Together, they tried to restrain the girl, but she kept breaking away from them and heading out of town. The desperate cries of the miller and wife woke the neighbors. They came to assist the frantic couple. Suddenly, a sharp-eyed farmer gave a shout and pointed towards a strange light at the end of the woods. A few townsmen followed him out into the field and saw Bloody Mary standing beside a large oak tree, holding a magic wand that was pointed towards Miller's house. She was glowing with an unearthly light as she set her evil spell upon the miller's daughter. The townsmen grabbed their guns and their pitchforks and ran towards the witch. When she heard the commotion, Bloody Mary broke off her spell and fled back into the woods. The far-sighted farmer had loaded his gun with silver bullets in case the witch ever came after his daughter. Now he took aim and shot at her. The bullet hit Bloody Mary in the hip and she fell to the ground. The angry townsmen leapt upon her and carried her back into the field, where they built a huge bonfire and burned her at the stake. As she burned, Bloody Mary screamed a curse at the villagers. If anyone mentioned her name aloud before a mirror, she would send her spirit to revenge herself upon them for her terrible death. When she was dead, the villagers went to the house in the wood and found unmarked graves of the little girls the evil witch had murdered. She used their blood to make her young again. From that day to this, anyone foolish enough to chant Bloody Mary's name 3 times before a darkened mirror will summon the vengeful spirit of the witch. It is said that she will tear their bodies to pieces and rip the souls from their mutilated bodies. The souls of these unfortunate ones will burn in torment as Bloody Mary once was burned, and they will be trapped forever in the mirror of her domain.